everyone, I'm Natasha, and today we are making black bath bombs with activated charcoal. So the secret ingredient that makes black bath bombs work and not just make a gigantic mess is something called polysorbate 80. Polysorbate 80 is very important for making these black bath bombs. Otherwise, the activated charcoal just does not disperse in the water. It sticks to your legs, your arms, whatever's in the water, and makes a huge mess in your tub, and you don't want that. So you do need the polysorbate to make your life a whole lot easier and your bath a whole lot more relaxing. Other than that, of course, you're going to need your baking soda, citric acid, activated charcoal. I am using some oil. I like to use oil instead of so much witch hazel or alcohol. You will also need a Spritz bottle with witch hazel or alcohol. I prefer to use alcohol, 90% isopropyl, or I actually use Everclear because it's what I use for my homemade cleaning products. Then of course you will also need your molds. Plastic or metal molds for bath bombs. Silicone is too flimsy. It does not work. You will also want some essential oils. I'm using a combination of lavender and frankincense for mine because I really love lavender and frankincense together. You also will probably want to go ahead and put on a pair of gloves to protect your hands while you're mixing. I like to get very hands-on when I mix. I find it much easier to do that way. And optional, though highly recommended, is having a mesh strainer. It makes sure that there are no lumps and bumps in your mixture. Please check the description below for more information on the exact quantities of each ingredient used. So to start with, go ahead and add your activated charcoal to the bowl. It is very fine, very poofy. So go ahead and put it in first. You're not going to add that through the sieve. Then through your mesh strainer, if you're using it, add your baking soda. Baking soda is the one that tends to really lump up and needs this little bit of sifting here. And you can press the last little bit through like that. Then your citric acid. Okay. Then we're going to stir carefully to combine. I went ahead and added a piece of wax paper underneath to protect my work surface and help me scoop up any extra mixture. Now I did add my polysorbate and my 80 together already, and if you're not using oil, that's okay. Add your polysorbate and then get started with your alcohol or witch hazel. This mixture also already has my essential oils. So I'm going to add this in. After those ingredients are combined, it's time to start adding witch hazel or preferably alcohol. Alcohol is less likely to make things fizz. You might just want to cover while you spritz because the charcoal is very poofy. Keep adding alcohol or witch hazel a little bit at a time until you can take a handful of mixture, squeeze it together, and when you open your hand, have that mixture retain its shape. Don't fill the entire mold and then try to pack it in a little bit at a time. Always make sure you've packed enough in around the edges and the corners there using your fingertips. Then if you have a piece of paper down, you can take it and get the rest of this back in your bowl. I have a little bit of extra mixture here because these are 3.5-ounce molds. When it comes to making bath bombs, I really prefer to have a little bit extra instead of not enough to fill my molds. So if you have some extra, that's okay. You can grab some smaller molds, or even just an ice cube tray works fantastically well. And you can make yourself some little extra tiny bath bombs. And it's especially good with this black bath bomb with activated charcoal because people love activated charcoal for its detox benefits. So that means you can use these little ones as a nice detox foot soak. So bonus, these also make great gifts, Valentine's, stocking stuffers, things like that. So if you ever have any extra mixture, that is okay. Grab something small, get yourself a little baking cup from Cupcakes if you have to. That'll work too. And you can make something out of your extra instead of having a bath bomb that's too small and doesn't fill the mold if you didn't make enough. All right, so we have both of those. Now, let these sit. Some people say 12 hours. I think it's best to let them sit for a full 24 hours to make sure they're good and dry all the way through before you unmold them and use them. Once your bath bombs are out of the molds, store them in an airtight container like a glass jar. Humidity in the air can cause them to activate and lose some of their fizz when you go to put them in the bath. And what's the fun of that? Then make sure that you do use them within about a month for maximum fizz and freshness with your essential oils.